in early December to Georgia Tech. Syracuse at 10-3. They are 1-1 in the conference, losing at Virginia. Just won over the weekend against Pitt. And Duke wins the opening tip at Cameron. We're underway. Mitchell giving it up here to the talented freshman McCain at 6'3" out of Sacramento, California. He's putting his stamp on the early part of the season. He'll draw the foul here by Chris Bell. He'll pick up number 1 in the opening seconds.
You're going to see Duke utilize Kyle Filipowski a lot in this offense. I think it's a difference between where he was at the beginning of the season as opposed to where he is now, being more active than playing through Kyle. And also those guys being more decisive. Him and Mark Mitchell turning, facing, making decisions quickly, more like NBA than probing for long periods of time.
Filipowski with a touch. McCain on the drive, coming in averaging 12, and he'll knock down the jumper to get Duke started tonight. And look at the Syracuse starting 5. Judah Mintz is the man, getting 19 points a game. J.J. Starling is the Notre Dame transfer. The Orange play a lot more guys than they have under Jim Boeheim. They're playing 9, and it's a very young team.
They roll deep. They have 9 sophomores on this team, young, but they play with a sense of urgency. And what you just saw right there by Mintz, that is one of his specialties. Ranked 6th in the nation in free throws made per game. And today during shoot-around in the scouting report, it was not to give him any energy or any space on the court to crowd him and to funnel him into help, because he wants to get to the free throw line. He makes a living at the free throw line.
He's had a big year, had 33 against LSU, 28 against Cornell. Certainly an ACC Player of the Year candidate. Filipowski is as well on the other side for the Duke Blue Devils. So we're seeing some talent here. The Duke starting 5. Filipowski, Mitchell, another big at 6'9". Roach is so reliable. And Duke getting Proctor back, as you mentioned, coming off the bench. We'll see how that affects their mix, because they were playing well without him.
Saw Mark Mitchell shoot that ball there, shooting 5% from the three-point line. But you like the decisiveness, and this is what Duke does. They get out and they try to run.
Filipowski, nice save, lines it up for Foster. In and out. And going to be on the line there. And a turnover. You're talking about Mitchell being more decisive.
Well, talking to John Shire today, he's obviously in the shooting slump. And one of the things they want him to focus on is when you catch it, be more decisive. Catch, shoot, catch or pass, or catch or drive. But make a play. Be aggressive and make a decision. And that's what you want to see from Mark Mitchell. Be a screener, be a rebounder, and play with incredible effort.
Bell lost control, won it back, and now throws it away. Roach with the pick, goes 1-on-2 and count that basket. That was as Bill Covington Jr. took a seat on the baseline trying to make a call.
It should have been. That's an and-one. I mean, if you could do that kind of stuff in the park, I mean, it hits the glass. Yeah, that's an and-one. That is goaltending. Hey, that's how you used to jump when we worked out. I saw you with that vertical leap.
In my dreams many years ago. It's a fun dream, though. McLeod at 7'4 plus. Up top, a misfire by Mintz. Almost got enough iron to drop through, and now come the Duke Blue Devils. Duke and Syracuse have met 21 times. Oh, nice move there. And Filipowski thought he got hit on the arm, but no whistle.
Well, that's where Filipowski's going to be able to have a field day. Whenever they're going to have Naheem McLeod come out and guard him, he can put that ball down the ground and drive through.
And welcome to Cameron Indoor. Here on a Tuesday night, that is Judah Mintz, a talented guard for the Syracuse Orange, going up against number 14 Duke. And a cold start as Chris Bell misfires there on the outlet. Jeremy Roach drawing contact and gets it to go. And he'll be at the line. So Duke off to a pretty decent start. Bell will pick up the foul, and he already has 2, Jay Williams.
Yo, what a big-time move. Look how he slowed down his pace. It's one of the things that older guards are able to do because they understand how to change speeds. He's holding the arms up to show you he's too strong, but that's really because he changed speeds. And understanding how to shift gears and then cracking into the defensive player once they leave their feet, that's how you get and ones.
Savvy senior.
You don't say that sometimes in college basketball these days, do you?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. A 6-1 start, trying to add to that. Angel Gray with us as well. Dave O'Brien alongside the Duke legend, Jay Williams. They're loving having you back here in Durham, by the way.
Yeah, we had some issues parking. Angel gave me a little bit of a hard time. You know, we saw
that's not right.
Yeah, well, we saw one security guy. 4 guys let me pass through. I felt like I was going to meet the president. But we finally got through, and it was all as well. But it's good to be back here in Durham, and these are both programs that I have a lot of familiarity with. Obviously, Syracuse, Jim Boeheim coached me when I was 17, 18 years old for USA basketball, and obviously playing and having my jersey retired here is pretty special.
So you should never, ever have difficulty parking.
I couldn't get into the building today, Dave.
That's amazing. Something wrong with that.
It's like the FBI is here. I mean, that's the level of security detail we have.
That's going to be tipped, and it will stay on this end, 7-1. Both of these teams are playing good basketball right now. They're both streaking in the right direction. And, of course, the first head-to-head meeting as head coaches between Jon Scheyer, now in year number 2 for Duke, and Adrian Red Autry in his first year at the helm, taking over for the great Jim Boeheim.
Dave, I have to say this. You know, one of my favorite singers is Frank Sinatra, and his song "I Did It My Way." It is beyond impressive. As you see, Syracuse knocked down a 3-point shot there. I got to get a hand up, but that both Coach Autry and Coach Scheyer have replaced legends, coaches that have transcended the game of basketball, frankly, in our sport. And both these programs feel the same, but they also feel very different. They have made it their own. Obviously, with Autry, they're playing man-to-man and style of pace. And then, obviously, with Duke and Jon Scheyer and him making it feel like his, it's beyond impressive.
Maliq Brown unable to connect inside. 15:52 to go here in the first half of the timeout. Duke on top 7-4. Well, you teed it up beautifully, walking in the footsteps of legends, all-timers. Both of these head coaches head-to-head tonight at Cameron Indoor.
At a point that they are going to be their own people, and they are going to have their own concepts and their own strategies. And I think it's absolutely brilliant for how they're transitioning in college basketball.
Angel Gray has more.
Yeah, guys, for Jon Scheyer, success came early, and he told us it's a continuous challenge to actually trust his gut and to make the program his own. But he did have some advice for first-year head coach Adrian Autry. He said, it's very similar, but I'm also telling him good luck. He laughed about it earlier when we had him on the broadcast, but Coach Autry said there's no filling in the shoes of Coach Boeheim, but he can take this piece of advice. Coach Boeheim told him, you know these players better than most. Guide them, protect them, hold them to a standard of what being a championship program requires, and both of them blazing their own trails.
Picked off there by Mintz. Syracuse, a 1-for-8 start. And 1-for-9 now on the miss by Brown as it hung tantalizingly on the iron. They are going to count that. That'll be interference. Take a look.
Yeah, one of the things in which Syracuse is really good, averaging around 12.5 steals per game. Judah Mintz in particular, he roams around the half-court area, and if you're not strong with the ball, he has very active hands, and he gets his hands on the ball. I was talking to Seth Greenberg today, he's a city guard. He's one of the best two-way players, I think, in the game of college basketball.
Well, there's a strong finish there as Brown goes all the way through the 6'8 sophomore. They love the many things he can do, very versatile for Syracuse.
Well, he's active. He applies pressure on the ball. He funnels you into help, and they get out and they run.
Tough scoop won't fall by Roach. Just at a 5-game stretch with 22 assists and only 3 turnovers. Here's Starling, and he'll swish in a 3. He's been having a lot of trouble hitting the 3. Just 26%. That looked very sweet.
Yeah, he's a capable three-point shooter with time. Had 21 points at Georgetown, 16 at UVA. I think really him finding his rhythm from the outside opens up lanes for Mintz to get into those gaps even more.
Nice bounce back for the Orange here. 8-0 run.
You want to see Kyle Filipowski work for position down low and demand the ball.
McCain on the drive. He'll scoop it up and in. Freshman, he's hitting 45% from 3, so you have to honor that too, but goes to the rack for the bucket, and he ties it up.
Jared McCain has been extremely special. Not only does he put the time in the gym, but I really think not having Tyrese Proctor for 4 games forced guys like Caleb Foster and Jared McCain to have a lot more responsibility and play through challenges. You know, that's one of the hardest things for young guards to do, Dave, is when you make a mistake, typically guards get subbed out, but when you don't have that reserve there, these guys are forced to play through it, and I think that experience is going to pay dividends.
Filipowski going up high to try and tap that one away. So take a look on the drive by Brown, going in strong.
And just defensive transition, and once again, Mintz calling for that ball screen over, and Starling just hands ready, knocking down that shot. You know, how they guard that ball screen is going to be really important. Are they going to blitz it to get the ball out of Mintz's hands? Are you going to hard hedge to get over the top? But you have to be disruptive because Mintz is really good at making quick decisions with the ball.
Meanwhile, Young is in. Filipowski out, just picked up a foul. Mintz may have forced that jumper. Young going for the board. Has it knocked out of play, and it will be Duke basketball.
And this is what you want to do with Mintz. You get him in, you funnel him in to help, and Ryan Young having a really strong contest, using that wingspan to contest. That's what you want to do. You want to make shots difficult for him.
Proctor with it. Just back from that ankle injury. Nice feed for Young. Can't finish. And a whistle here with 12:51 to go in the half. Duke got everything he wanted there, but Young could not get it done. And a foul will go against Young, his first.
Ryan Young, his veteran-like experience, it goes such a long way. You talk about him and Jeremy Roach as a senior. He had that stint during the Baylor game, which he made some critical plays that really helped him pull that game away. His decision-making, his effort defensively, and his basketball IQ, I think, really helped this team in a big way.
Oakland zips the pass and out of play. Intended for Betty Williams downstairs. They've turned it over now 3 times. So Duke with the basketball, coming in number 14. Other than losing a home game by this point in the season, that was to Arizona back in early November, statistically it's been about what you expect from a Duke team. That's going to be tipped out. And it will be Syracuse ball. With Duke shooting 49%, 37% from 3. Duke is averaging less than 9 turnovers per game, which is top 5 nationally.
Obviously losing to Arizona at home. This was a different place with the student section rocking, but that was it's still the thing you question about Duke, and I think Duke has a legit shot to win a title, is the physicality. Can they play through tough stretches when teams try to outmatch them with physicality?
Well, look at him move the ball there beautifully, and Mitchell will lay it up and in. That was textbook, his first bucket.
Now, John Shire said something around Mark Mitchell today that really stood out for me. He said learning how to embrace a role is one thing, crushing it is something different, right? And Mark Mitchell really embracing that, being decisive with his decision-making, but crushing it is the next level of him taking that role to a different level.
Mitchell right down the lane and can't get it to roll in, but he'll be at the line as he draws the foul. Duke has grabbed the lead, 11-9 on the Orange, and when we come back after the break, some ridiculousness. That's the lead-in. You want to wait around for this.
What does that mean?
And his name is Jason Kidd.
Right?
That's about it, man. Jason Kidd. Gary Payton, maybe, but Gary getting up there in years. Jason Kidd, to me, is probably the only one I would take over Mr. Williams.
How about that? That is vintage, Dickie V, vintage Jay Will as well. Pretty spectacular.
First off, let me say, Dickie V, I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to have you back here with us. We love you, buddy. It's incredible that I've been doing this for 18 years, And Dickie V is still one of the most relevant people we have in all of sports. So,
Sure is.
and yeah, playing for Coach K was incredible, Dio. I mean, obviously playing here, wrecking that jersey, and then becoming two-time National Player of the Year. But everything was earned. Nothing was given. And I think that's the thing for all these guards. I spoke to him today. You know, you have to go out there, you have to go take it. Because when you wear that, those 4 letters across your chest, you can't be hunted. You have to be the hunter. And that's for any program. And that's what Adrian's doing with Syracuse basketball, you know, keeping his players hungry, implementing a new style. And that's the biggest challenge we have today in college basketball. You know, can you be yourself and can you play through everybody telling you how great you are all the time and remaining hungry?
Brown with a very tough move on the baseline. Give him 4 points. So who steps up there? I mean, that's been such a mark of great Duke teams under Coach K. I mean, the point guard role, the great guard play. Once again, it's Mitchell getting really active in that painted area. Give him 6.
I think Duke's always been known for their guards. Obviously, Kyle Filipowski's, you know, up for National Player of the Year. He's going to be a first-team All-American. He's a special player. But how they defend on the perimeter, how they deny passing lanes, I think Jared McCain has really came into his own. I'm curious to see where he'll be towards the end of the season. But having Tyrese Proctor back and the way he can ball hawk right there, apply pressure and kick the ball ahead, has a 4-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. How their guards play will dictate their level of success.
Well, Thursday's Pac-12 basketball game coming up on ESPN in the app. It's Caleb Love and number 10 Arizona looking to bounce back against KJ Simpson and Colorado. That's at 9:30 Eastern time. We saw North Carolina get off to a really cold start earlier tonight against Pitt. Missed their first, 10 shots, and then rallied in that one.
North Carolina special team. R.J. Davis is special. I mean, talk about guard play. As you see Tyrese Proctor there, the NBA, you know, high school league. It's just those type of shots. R.J. Davis can make it too with the best of it.
Mitchell with the rejection. Blakes gives it up. Jumper will be off the back iron. So not there for Proctor. The point guard missed 3 games after rolling that left ankle against Georgia Tech. And the whistle with 9.5 to go in the first half, and they'll get Filipowski for number 2.
That's what Duke basketball is. Everybody doing what they do. Off a ball screen here, does a great job of probing, gets into the lane, and it's a strong finish with the right hand. And then on the other end, getting back defensively, Mark Mitchell just being active. I mean, that's when you look at him, he has the frame and the size of somebody that should be a defensive stopper, an enforcer. Body kind of reminds me that of Ron Artest with the way he can use his strength.
6'9", powerful. Duke, by the way, 21-2 when Mitchell scores 10 points or more. He's off to a nice start in this one.
And, you know, a lot of times on scouting reports, you'll see teams laying off and playing off of him, giving him, you know, almost playing those mental Jedi mind tricks, I call them, with take the shot, we dare you. Just because you're open doesn't mean that you have to settle for the shot. You can absorb that space and attack. And I think, once again, being decisive is what John Shire wants Mark Mitchell to be all the time.
Well, he came in 1 for 20 from three-point land. Mintz at the line.
Jason Kidd used to say that all the time in the league. I remember playing for the Nets for a short stint, and one of our teammates was like, "We're open." And Jason was like, "Well, you're open for a reason." Okay? So let's not settle.
It's in the scouting report.
Yes, exactly. These coaches are smart. They know what they're doing.
Proctor. Blakes will give it up. Foster on the wing. Duke by 3 and the ball. And will hand off for Foster. Shot clock now down to 3. He's going to have to get it in the air. Syracuse crashing the glass. Benny Williams coming off a strong 15.8 rebound game against Pitt on Saturday.
That's where Maliq doesn't need to bring the ball down.
It's giving it up. Off the window. One fall for Bell and a whistle.
I really like what Syracuse is doing. They're active defensively. You're seeing Mintz get Ryan Young in that ball screen, which I think he has a field day. But for Naheem McLeod, if you're 7'3", 7'4", do not bring the ball down. You are the tallest person on the floor. Keep it high, turn, make a play at the rim. You bring the ball down to the level of the guards, that's where those strip-aways come from.
Transfer from Florida State. The hope is he can help fill the void. Jesse Edwards Went to West Virginia. A surprising departure, although maybe shouldn't be in this age of NIL.
Yeah. I mean, you have to recruit players on your own team each and every year, and it's one of the hardest things in college basketball on top of NIL.
Foul was on Young, his second. So we're talking about, the somewhat crazies in the background. The question's going to be, Jay, Will, stamina, because it's an older crowd. Do they have what it takes to go the full 40?
Well, when you typically see Cameron crazies, well, it's like everybody's over 40. That's the problem. Typically when you see the Cameron crazies, they're running on the bleachers. I mean, we saw people literally gingerly. That's how we will walk up the bleachers,
right.
Dave.
Limping a little bit in my case, yeah. Foster. Does give it up.
That's what McCloud has to be great at.
Indeed.
He has the size in the frame just to be vertical.
Bell flips it to the corner. And Syracuse has had a number of sloppy turnovers. That'll be 6 in the game for the Orange. I don't know about you. I find it fascinating that Coach Boeheim has now gotten behind a microphone. He's working some games for ESPN, and he's been in the studio a little bit. From all the reports I get, he loves it. He's having a great time.
I've never known Jim not to say something funny. I mean, spending time with him, he's one of the funniest people there is. And I love that he's able to let his hair down. It's a joke because we both have no hair. But I feel like his true personality comes out. And, some of those rivals, Coach K and Jim Boeheim, some of the best of friends with the way they coach USA basketball together. And listening to those guys tell stories, I'll tell you, over a glass of vino, there's nothing better, Dio.
Indeed. Only 2,000 wins, for crying out loud. That's going to be up and good as Foster gets in the lane. His first bucket.
Caleb Foster with 18 points he had against Baylor. I really think he adds a different dimension, and he lets the game come to him, but the next step is for him to take it to the game and be aggressive the way Judah Mintz is, get into those mid-range spots.
Mintz coming in averaging 19. Watching him shoot, he's just one of those pure shooters, as we saw him today in the shooter on Foster. Can't answer there, one and done. Syracuse with an opportunity here to take the lead, but can't do it. They'll turn it over again. There's McCain, short. Mintz again on the attack, airborne, and yes.
Well, there were 2 Duke players that jogged back on defense, and you could tell John Shire's pretty annoyed by that. He turned the ball over. You better make sure you get back on defense with a sense of urgency.
So Syracuse grabbing the lead. Boeheim's Cameron crazy moment. If you missed it the first time, you want to see
one. Wait for it a little bit, Dan. Exactly.
Started 116 games for Jim Boeheim in the early 90s. He was Jim's assistant, and now taking the program. And there's another dunk there by Mitchell. He has 8. So Duke back in front by 1. Putting it to the deck, back out for Mintz. Mintz trying to make a move at the foul line on the spin, and denied by Blakes, and he comes away with the basketball. Roach in transition. Guess who again? And Mitchell's going to the line.
What an incredible pass right here by Tyrese Proctor. You talk about eyes in the back of your head. How about on the side of your head with the vision there to find Mitchell? And once again, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. For Mark Mitchell to be the X factor for this team, be quick and decisive, catching the ball, finishing strong through contact at the rim. I truly believe his defensive effort, his intensity, and his ability to finish at the rim could really help this team go to a different level.
3-point play. He's had a big first half. Pressure here by the Blue Devils. Taylor finds the lane, open up, leans inside, almost made it. And he'll be headed to the stripe. Hey, tomorrow night, top teams in the ACC squaring off on ESPN and the app. big man P.J. Hall leading number 16 Clemson. He's had a heck of a start up against 10-2 Miami in Coral Gables. Coverage beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern time.
I'm going to tell you right now, Dave, I really like Clemson. I'm not off Miami yet. I think Miami has a way to go, but Clemson and P.J. Hall is a name that people at home need to know about. He is 6'8", can knock down the mid-range shot, can knock down the three, can put the ball down on the ground, and he's not afraid to put his nose into things. He is one of the toughest players in this league. I think behind Duke and North Carolina, Clemson is right there.
He's averaging 20 points a game, number 2 in the ACC. Duke by 3. Roach putting on the brakes. Roach outside the 3. He's making 46%. Mitchell feeling pretty good about himself.
See, all right, you're being decisive, but still, you can shrink the court. Just because you have that space doesn't mean that you have to settle. You can absorb the space, drive. He's been getting to the rim. But still, once again, you like the fact that he's being assertive.
Stewart with a second foul for the Blue Devils. Talking about all that space.
I mean, look at this space right here. We're gonna see. You see that space? Absorb, attack that space. Attack that space. If you can attack that space, that's where you put a guy like Naheem McLeod in a predicament. Utilize ball fakes. He's jumping. Get him in the air. Crack into him. Get to the free throw line.
So it'll be Taylor at the line for the Orange.
You know, something else, Dave, that stands out here, similar to the Georgia Tech game, where Kyle Filipowski only took around 8 shots. 2 shots thus far in the first half. You really want to see him be more aggressive when he's on the court, but also demand the ball.
Well, Mitchell's certainly been doing that. Proctor will give it up. Parr straight on, and that didn't touch a thing. Wound up a pass for Mitchell. Takes the hit and makes the shot. Well, he's just having a great half. Give him 13 and counting.
And John Shire told us today, like, this is who he's going to be for his career. He's going to be an energy guy. He's going to be a guy that's going to attack the bodies of the bigs. And I talked about having that Ron Artest-like upper body frame. He can play through the contact. That's what his specialty is.
McLeod's second foul. So this one for a 14-point half with about 5.5 minutes to go for Mitchell, who came in averaging 11 and 5, very respectable numbers, but he's blowing right through those. Duke by 6.
With Mintz not in the game, where does the scoring come from for Syracuse?
Foul with 5:15 left. And against Tyrese Proctor. So the big donut there for one of the best players in college basketball. Only 7 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be what teams are going to do. When the best way to attack the opposing players, the opposing team's best offensive player, is you do that defensively. You attack them. And Kyle Filipowski got into foul trouble. And that's going to be what Duke is going to have to deal with every single day. If I were playing against Duke, I would take him in ball screens. I would tell our bigs, utilize head fakes, get him up in the air, get him in foul trouble, because that's when Duke will be vulnerable.
That's 18 points and 9 rebounds a game on the bench. But right now, Mitchell is the guy filling that void. On the drive, Roach, an offensive foul.
That's a call there by Jamie Luckey. That was the right call. Sometimes when Jeremy Roach starts driving, it's that off right hand that he extends, and there's really no need to extend it there. You can wrap the other player's arm by keeping it in tight, close to your body. That's a little trick that the veterans do.
Play at angles, right?
Yeah.
27-23.
You extend that arm, Dave, they're going to call that every time.
Every time. Mintz swatted away. Power getting up there and denying him on the baseline.
Duke is really not giving him a lot of space to operate. And this is what Mintz wants to do. He wants to get to the free throw line. He loves drawing contact. Great job to stay disciplined and block the shot over the top.
Good entry pass for the dunk from Maliq Brown. Syracuse has made a nice bounce back here. Bounced back a couple of times within 2 on the road at Cameron Indoor. Duke has won 8 straight against Syracuse and 10 of the last 11. McCain to the lane. The scoop won't fall for him. Now the Orange with an opportunity to tie or take the lead again. They're in the lane, off the back iron, no, but they'll get a second effort. Let's give it up. Here's Copeland. Got a good look.
Good. Quality of a possession for Syracuse.
Power in transition, can't hit it. Quadir Copeland coming off 22, also 9 rebounds against Pitt. He's the ACC Player of the Week. And now suddenly both sides going a little bit cold. Under 4 minutes to go in half number 1. Proctor on the spin, stacks it.
So dynamic off the dribble. Well, he's really good at attacking angles and getting to the spots on the floor where he wants to be.
Duke lost that game against Georgia Tech in their only ACC tilt so far. There's the slam. Down from Maliq Brown. Knows exactly what to do it in the lane. Give him 10. So the Blue Devils with the basketball, 2-point advantage, 3 minutes left in the half. Foster wants to go one-on-one, drawing contact, no, and it's Brown with another rebound.
A really tough possession for Duke right there. The ball kind of stuck to Foster's hands, didn't really get the defense moving side to side.
To the Mintz. Nearly threw that one away. It's a difficult angle by Starling. Mitchell with the rebound, and they'll blow the whistle. There's a foul.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Dio. Duke is sure happy to have Tyrese Proctor back. Look at the eyes here and how he's probing the court, seeing that space. And I tell you, he puts you in a spin cycle, catching you in the ISO. He can give it to you any way he likes. Duke. Well, I would look good in orange, Theo. I don't know.
Mitchell at the line. Let's toss it to Ainge.
You would not look good in the orange. I'm just going to say that right now. But, guys, both teams coming off of a little bit of a break, and it was very interesting speaking to both of the coaches and how they needed to manage both of their teams, giving them some time off. For Coach Shire, he said, I just wanted to make sure that I was managing the voices in their head as well. So really looking at how that Queens game and how everyone was very cohesive, he was very pleased with that. And for even on the other side for Coach Autry, he said, I gave them 4 days off. I need them to understand the importance of the work-life balance. And since it is the New Year's, I couldn't let them leave without talking about the New Year's resolution. Coach Shire said, I'm preaching, be present. He said to himself as well, understanding what's the most important thing is Syracuse. For Coach Autry, he said it's a little bit different. I need to still do a vision board, but he said I need to get better in something every single game. And he said I'm going to make sure I'm going to read, work nutrition, but something has to get better each game.
Angel, I'll tell you the most impressive thing that you did that whole breakdown right there. Those kids eating popcorn right over your hair. I'm telling you, that is, talk about focus. That's incredible.
Well, I've already had a pretzel. I've already had a pretzel dropped on my head. Can I have some popcorn? Can I give you some popcorn?
Oh, that's we're in a time of giving. What a great kid.
Thank you.
And Mitchell at the line. By the way, Syracuse out-rebounding Duke 23-15.
Wow. Who's going to tell Angel the kid had her finger on her nose before he dug that popcorn in? Nah, I'm just joking, Angel. I'm joking.
It's the holiday season. Duke by 1. Mitchell with another one coming. He makes 71%. He was 9 for 9 at the line against Michigan State, so he's one of those foul shooters who gets hot. He has had a big half with 16.
If you are Syracuse right now, with the way that Mintz has been playing, 2 of 7 from the field, having 8 points, not playing that well. That's almost a point for every single shot he's taken as he gets to the rack here.
Yes, he did.
I mean, they are playing quick. They're playing decisive. Cal Filipowski's in foul trouble. This is Syracuse basketball, people. It's time to wake up. This is what it's going to be 24/7.
Whistle here at midcourt. And Duke, by the way, 0 for 8 from 3-point distance. Thursday, Pac-12 basketball on ESPN and the app. Caleb Love and number 10 Arizona looking to bounce back against KJ Simpson and Colorado. That game at 9:30 Eastern Time. We'll get Bell for his second foul on the Syracuse side to send Blakes to the line. He had a 15-point game against Charlotte, but his minutes have been limited against the top-tier opponents.
And these are the things that remind you of Jim Boeheim, just like the mentor, right? The grabbing, get in the game, the passion that he has. I mean, you also missed a play on Chris Bell where he reached and he's down on the ground saying, why reach? Why reach right there? Funnel him towards the side, bring him towards the side. Is one of the brightest young minds in the game of basketball, and Coach Altry.
Young picking up Mintz and a reach and a whistle. Young didn't think so, but a foul there just over a minute to go. And that'll be number 3 on Ryan Young, the 6'10 grad. In a 2-point game.
Dave, I really look forward to in the second half us breaking down how stylistically the Syracuse team is such a different team. You know, watching the way Jim used to recruit for that matchup zone, and now with the ferocity they play man to man, it feels the same, but it's a completely different brand.
Takes, I think, a little bit of getting used to for certainly a generation of Syracuse fans, several generations. This is different.
They're faster in your face, they apply pressure, and they attack the rim with reckless abandon.
I think there are many things to compare, though, to all the great years Jim Boeheim had, and that's Jim brought in so many terrific players and coached them up. They were good players when they got to Syracuse. They were tremendous when they left. Mitchell, another slam.
Does it just feel that Mark Mitchell is everywhere on the court? I mean, he's engaged defensively, he's active, he's getting 50-50 balls, he's communicating, and everything he's doing is he's finishing strong at the rim.
Duke by 2. Taylor giving it up. That's going to be an offensive. On the charge, Copeland, number 2.
They talk about Mark Mitchell just, once again, being a screener, rolling Proctor, finding him in a strong two-hand finish at the rim. Just the level of energy he brings to the table. It's, you know, I was talking to Andy Enfield over at USC about how energy is used as effort, and it's a skill level that a lot of people don't bring, and that's what Mark Mitchell's bringing.
About half a minute to go. Duke by 2 here in the first half.
Everything he's doing is with effort, 50-50 balls, and then gets the steal, but also finishes strong in transition, and that's what every guard wants their big to do. You beg them to run the floor, finishing through contact. 18 points so far in the first half, and his energy is infectious for this team. It's one of those missing aspects that when he plays this way, even though Kyle Filipowski has 2 fouls, he gives you 18 points and Duke has a 2-point lead.
Well, number 25 has been the man for the Blue Devils, and you know they're dominating in one area, and that's in the paint, outscoring Syracuse 26-14. Mitchell's the number 1 reason why. Every time you look up, he's flying through the lane. So about 2.5 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot clock down to 8. Here's Proctor straight on. Got an excellent look. Couldn't get that one to go. Chance for a heave here. Mintz on the drive. Got it up there, but can't make it. And the first half, Duke has failed to hit a 3-point shot. They are 0 for 9 beyond the arc.
But with Kyle Filipowski in foul trouble, they've dominated points in the paint as well. So 26-14, they still have that advantage, which is why they have the 2-point lead. Filipowski
averaging 18 points a game, a donut in the first half, and a quick whistle here That'll go the other way. Let's toss it down to Angel.
Jay, I can add a couple of more adjectives that Coach Shire expressed as far as Mitchell. He said he's been our stabilizer, our attacker. He's done everything we need him to do at the rim, especially in the absence of Kyle Filipowski. I asked him about that. He said he's picking up 2 bad fouls. He's played 7 minutes. We need for him to be better on the defensive end.
Filipowski, by the way, just picked up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Filipowski's been that over the last 4 games. He's been way better offensively.
McCain downtown, yes, the 3. So that took less than half a minute to clean that up, and he has 7.
I think Al was telling me a great stat, our incredible statistician, that it's been over 1,000 games that Duke has made a 3. We did not expect the first one to be today.
Right. Like never.
Like never, yes.
JJ starting with a pull-up and a feathery touch. Notre Dame transfer. Grew up outside of Syracuse in Baldwinsville, New York. Getting a chance to come back home, and he has 5.
Syracuse is not backing down with the way Stalling has played Mintz and Brown. Their guards have gotten where they want it.
Well, that's a classic Filipowski move right there, but that little spin to the right, and he takes care of the offer. And so it's the Duke Blue Devils by 5. Mintz looking to answer. Starling again, looking to use the screen. Pulls up and knocks it down.
Big time shot. You see the body control, how he bumped off. He bumped off Foster right there with the left shoulder. Didn't extend that arm to get an offensive foul, but that's a pro-like move.
At 21 against Georgetown, so he can fill it up. Filipowski again, shovels the pass. Mitchell on a spin and a slam. Now he matches his career high with 20.
I know this from experience. There are times when bigs can feel lost in games when you have a lot of good guards. Kyle Filipowski is demanding the ball. That's what you want to see from your star player.
Leaning inside, Brown. Yes, that'll roll home. He had a really good first half quietly, didn't he?
And he just went to work down low on the block. I mean, he got a couple offensive rebounds, got some chippy points. That's what you need from your front court.
He has 14. Syracuse has been able to answer all night long. At least to this point, the entry for Filipowski all alone for 2. Well, he's a different looking guy in the opening minutes of the second half. They're finding him. It's a dangerous guy outside the 3-point line. Getting inside, draws the foul. That'll be on McCain. Trying to slow him down.
Well, Kyle Filipowski wanting the ball down low on the block, going against Justin Taylor, who's 6'6". And what a big-time pass right there, finding Mitchell. And then the seal over the top. The seal. That's what you want to see Kyle Filipowski dominate down low on the block. And look at John Shire's parents there, still attending games, still being as passionate as they were when John won a championship back in 2015.
As you know, such a family affair here at Duke for everybody concerned. He's worn the uniform, coached.
2010. I don't want to make John younger than what he is.
He's 35.
Yes.
He's young enough.
He's young enough.
Actually, since taking over for a living legend and Coach K, he seemed very, very comfortable in this role. Almost as if following Mike Krzyzewski, if anybody was going to be able to do it comfortably, it was going to be John Shire.
Knowing him as an assistant coach for as long as I did, I always called him a young Brad Stevens. I thought he had a pretty uncanny ability to see the game, but also connect with players. And I think that's something that's really important for him and Coach Autry as well, them being younger guys, connecting with the players and learning how to push and motivate the players differently.
Bell's 3rd foul for Syracuse. On the cut. McCain couldn't get it. So Duke did everything right except the finish. Straight on, Mintz left it short. He's 38% out there. Roach trying to make a move. Strong lost it. Syracuse probably buckling down defensively. Here's Bell. And get it away. Picked off by Foster. Roach up ahead. Tip to tiptoes in and lays it up for two.
Bell just leaving his feet right there, and that's what you don't want young players to do. They get into those gaps, leave those feet to make a pass.
Well, we've seen it so many times over the decades. The first 5 minutes, especially here at Cameron Indoor for Duke, and they take off, and they've opened up a lead here, 46 to
Duke with a 3-point lead over Syracuse, and Duke has that 3-point lead mainly because of their freshman phenom right now with Jared McCain, who has been unbelievable in his last 4 games. But Coach Shire gave him high praise. He said he is one of one and unapologetically himself. He said there was a back-to-back game where he was in a slump. He said since then his confidence has been oozing. I talked to him earlier. He said, I do my nails. It's something that I picked up over COVID. He said, I like to feel good. I then play good. Over the last 4 games, he's averaged close to 20 points, also leading the team in points as well. He said, I envision every single thing and wants to win tonight.
Jay, well, you've told me that for years. You feel good, you look good, you play good.
Yeah, and if painting the fingernails makes you shoot 45% from the three-point line, please do so.
Syracuse throws it away. Take a closer look.
Is that hot pink? Oh, wow. Christmas colors.
Cowboy,
whatever it does it for you.
I think it is Merry Christmas.
Merry
That's
Christmas.
exactly what that is. Whatever it takes. Filipowski.
Surprised you don't do that to your fingernails.
You shouldn't be surprised. Not remotely. Duke by 3. Proctor gives it up. Stolen away by Mintz. It says Brown with him over the top for the slam. He is 16. Orange keep coming back. Roach will bury the 3. He's 46% beyond that arc.
Mintz with the big steal on one end, and then once again, Mark Mitchell making a read. So many bigs try to force that issue, end up getting a charge, but great body control and great awareness with his eyesight to make that skip pass to Roach to knock down the 3.
Yeah, Mitchell's had such a strong night on both ends. Copeland backs it away. Shot clock down to 6. Inside Brown. He's not going to miss anything that close. He's been burying those all night. 18. Brown also an outstanding defender. He gets a lot of deflections. Proctor. Filipowski gave it away.
That's where you just want Filipowski to go up strong. And the guy was late on the rotate from the weak side. Take a second, go up strong, and powered it at the rim.
It's just been off tonight. But Copeland on the drive. Denied. Brown fired it. Nice save on the deck. The Duke Blue Devils. That's Mitchell again. In transition, Proctor for a triple. 52-47. Whistle inside underneath the basket will go against Duke.
I'll tell you, Mintz does a great job. That's how you're supposed to play defense. You're supposed to steal the ball on the left side of the floor with your outside right hand. In case you miss, you can recover defensively. Textbook defense by Mintz and great feed up top in transition. That's one of the reasons why he's one of the best defensive players in college basketball.
Proctor just picked up foul number 2. McCain will take a breather. Copeland, misfired pass. They come away with it, though. Here's Starling. No. Filipowski tearing it away. Blue Devils trying to add to the lead. Roach just hit a big 3 seconds ago. Off the fake, in traffic, and Proctor will draw the foul.
Having active hands is something Duke always wants to do. But going back to Judah Mintz, he is a talented player. You mentioned Dave, he had 33 points against LSU. He is that offensive rhythm that when he gets going, Syracuse becomes a different team, and he has not had any space today to operate. I think as of right now, he has 16 points, but on 4 of 11 from the field, and it's just been difficult for him to get to the free throw line as well. I mean, free throw attempts, he's 8 of 9, which is still good, but you feel like he should be at the free throw line getting 15 to 16 free throw attempts per game.
Been a big reason for the Orange success, 10-3 coming in. Mintz took his name out of the NBA draft consideration. To the surprise of many, he returned to SU. I'd say Red Autry is one of those who was a bit surprised.
Well, look, I mean, the next step for him is knocking down that jump shot right from the outside. We were watching shoot around today. He turns his right foot inward. He kind of shoot his feet are off. They don't seem set. The ball comes off the side of his hands. If he can add that jump shot, that's an explosive package that could take his game to the next level.
Thought about a 3 there. Gives it up for Williams. Can't drill it. Filipowski, another rebound. He's not scoring, but he's getting to the glass here in the second half. They're going to get Mintz there for the personal. 12:35 left. And Duke opening up their biggest lead Saturday afternoon on ACC Network. They have the first basketball triple header of the new year. Virginia taking on NC State to begin that at 2 o'clock Eastern. FSU taking on Virginia Tech, and finally number 14 Duke and Notre Dame in South Bend. Should be a great afternoon of hoops on the ACC Network.
Dev, who do you think the best team in the country is?
In the country?
In the country.
Right now I'm looking at Purdue.
Purdue. I think with the way Fletcher Lawyer plays, Braden Smith when he plays at the top of his game, and Zach Edey, they are the best team.
Rebound tipped out. Battle for that. Loose ball. And it'll stay on this end. It'll be Duke's. But I think it's wide open.
Well, you know, and you see teams have surprising losses. Obviously, Arizona and FAU. You've seen Purdue struggle with. You hope they don't see Northwestern in the tournament.
Right.
You know, it does feel like there are upper echelon teams. Kansas, I think Kentucky has a pretty high ceiling as well.
Definitely.
With their bigs and their guard play. I think Duke is in that category as well, and North Carolina.
Sure. Out of the conference. Power goes down, and a whistle here with 12:08 showing. And that foul will go on Copeland. That's number 3 on Quadir Copeland, 6'6" sophomore from Philly. So this is one of those danger zones that Syracuse has been able to overcome every time tonight, where it looks like Duke is about to make a breakaway run, but the Orange come right back. They force a turnover. They hit a big shot. Filipowski downstairs. Power just lost it. It'll go the other way.
Well, once again, great defense by Syracuse. But I'm going to say this, Dave. Duke fans in college basketball is in for a treat next year. If you have not heard of the name Cooper Flagg, one of the best players to actually don this Duke uniform in a while as a freshman, he is a special, gifted player. Consensus, one of the best players in the country. He can do it any way you want it. Any way you want it. And he has moxie, he has swag, and he is a competitor. Like he competes each and every possession.
Word is he can really talk it too.
Mount Verde playing for Kevin Boyle, Coach Kyrie Irving at St. Pat's.
McCain swishing in a 3. And Duke bolsters the lead to 10. Trying to fight back. Here's Starling. Mintz driving it. Hits it. Somehow hit it. Off balance and got it to go. Here's 18.
We talked about just quiet. Yeah, that's what I said. I think he's the best tough shot maker in the ACC and one of the best there is in the country. And he's talking to Tyrese Proctor. I mean, he is engaged right now.
Proctor with the catch. Back out.
He should have just kept going. Just keep curling right to the rim. He had an easy lane.
Filipowski. Shot clock down to 6. Fading away. Yes. So Duke getting a lot more out of their star here in the second half. He did not score in the first half. Copeland left it behind. Picked up by McCain. He'll fire.
You paint whatever you want to paint, Jared McCain. You want to paint your toenails. You want to do whatever you want to do. You keep doing that if you're shooting the rock like that. Jared McCain is on one. And Duke just making big shot after big shot. I heard Jared McCain was special, but seeing it up close in person, there's a
run for the Duke Blue Devils, and that's a classic. They do this all the time. 13-2 over the last 3.5. Where does that come from?
You know, as a former player here, we used to call that blood in the water and timeouts or huddles, where you felt like, hey, if we get the ball going in a couple of times, you know, let's just try to blow this open. Let's try to get a 5 or 6 point swing, get a couple of stops, and knock down some threes in transition. Those are momentum killers for other teams. And Duke has more offensive firepower than Syracuse, and now you're even seeing them go into a zone, trying to change it up, forcing Syracuse to set up for shots from the outside.
Williams, that'll rattle in. Syracuse needed that one desperately. Second half, Duke 5 for 5 beyond the three-point line. They were 0 for 9 in the first half.
But John, I don't know. My apologies, Dave, calling you John. I don't know why I call that, but there are times as a player here, as you see Jared McCain knock down another one, where you just sense it. You can look at the opposing team and see that, okay, here are one of these runs, and how are they going to respond? And if they can't come back and knock down shots to counter your run, that's where the game starts to get a little out of hand.
Well, Copeland just did. Back-to-back now, Syracuse coming down and making shots they had to have. Under 9.5 remaining here at Cameron. Duke is on fire. Foster hits Blakes to the foul line, did not take the shot. McCain gives it up. Roach will lift. He buries another triple. And suddenly, here in the second half, Duke cannot miss beyond that line. 7 for 7 since halftime.
Now, they give Duke a lot of credit for knocking down shots, but Syracuse has to stay tagged to shooters multiple times. They've lost people off dribble penetration.
Copeland catches, fires, no.
And that's what you don't want, Dave. You don't want there to be a shootout.
Picked off by Brown. On the drive, tipped in by Brown after the miss by Starling. Maliq Brown's had a night. He has 20. He's more than double his average of 9. They've needed every one of them. Shoot it. Brown wanted him to. McCain around the back. Stops, misses. Williams there for the rebound. Syracuse needs a run now. Prevent Mintz from driving inside. .68-56 on the crossover, and an errant pass. Tried for the alley-oop. That opens up Roach on the other end. Give him 15. So Duke getting a comfort zone.
Just points off turnovers. Once again, you talk about for Syracuse, 15 turnovers in this game, not taking care of the ball.
That's a slick pass, and it's going to lead to a potential three-point play. It'll be Brown again at the line. Filipowski went for the block.
Well, he carried the load every which way, defensively and offensively. With Kyle Filipowski with 2 fouls in the first half. Mark Mitchell with 18 points, career-high 20 points, but he hasn't really had to do it, Dave, as much in the second half because the three-point shooting for Duke has really taken off.
Well, they've been unconscious beyond that line since halftime. Something clicked. Filipowski also contributing a lot more here in the second half offensively. Not a big number, but 6 points. Also has 6 rebounds. Syracuse will be at the line here.
Well, when we were talking to John Shire, I remember asking him during shoot-around, what have you found with Tyrese Proctor not in the ball game? And he said, the ball doesn't stick as much. The ball moves, and the ball is energy, right? And so it finds when the ball gets rotated around and guys are being unselfish, it naturally finds itself to the hot shooter. And that is intentional for a guy like Jared McCain to be open and knock down those shots at a high clip from the outside.
Syracuse still very much in it. Brown, by the way, with 23 points, a career high. Played a huge role tonight for the Orange. Filipowski on Brown. Good duel there. And sinks it.
Great defense, better offense. A good job by Brown, not giving any space or giving even an inch to the bigger Kyle Filipowski.
Mintz looking for a seam as it batted away. Roach again on the attack, lays it in. Defense into instant offense. He has 17 points. 74-59. Starling denied the lane. Outside for Copeland. Rebound picked off by the Blue Devils. So 6 minutes to go. And Duke trying to put this one on ice here in the next couple of minutes. Syracuse in dire need of a big stop. Filipowski up to spin, man, he'll draw the foul.
You know, giving a target is something that Kyle Filipowski has gotten a lot better. I look at that left hand right there, that's a target. And also making the post pass is a really underrated talent of Tyrese Proctor. And once he gets to his spot, that's what an All-American can do. He is comfortable being uncomfortable. And he gets on the block, it's hard to stop him once he gets the ball that deep, Dave.
Second foul on Benny Williams. So about to go into double figures after a big 0 in the scoring column in the first 20. And give him 10 points.
Also a lot more demonstrative with the way Kyle Filipowski has been calling for the ball.
Yes. Different player.
Yes. Well, also, when your guards go 7-7 from the three-point line, it opens up the paint to go to work.
I would think. Filipowski going up for the rebound, and it's knocked out of play. It'll go the other way. And for more on the 7-footer, let's toss it down to Angel.
Guys, it's impressive just seeing Kyle Filipowski on the floor right now for his team. He had surgery on both of his hips to shave them down to allow him to be more flexible and bendy, as he said. Coach Lucas nicknamed the sophomore two-hip flip in the offseason, which he says he's been tremendous as far as moving with no pain. He told me it was about a month where he could not move at all. So the fact that he's still on the floor living out his dream is impressive.
Shave down his hips. That doesn't sound like a fun day at the office.
No, that sounds painful.
Just a little bit. Filipowski wears the number 30 to honor John Shire, who wore that number when he played.
You know, if shaving down your hips makes you a first-team All-American, if painting your fingernails makes you shoot 48% from the three-point line, obviously these strategies are working, Dave.
Oh, baby, give me the nail polish then, because I'm not. Other things sounds, oh, man, I'm not going anywhere near that. So 77-59. Mom and Dad here, as you mentioned.
They come to every game. It's incredible to see how they've came to games for John as a player and now for him as the head coach of Duke University, and both for Coach Shire and Autry. Talk about dream jobs, coaching at a place where you coached under your predecessor, two guys who are Hall of Famers, legends of the game, and then being able to implement your own strategy, your own style, and do it your way. What an incredible opportunity for both young coaches.
And both of these guys, you know, draw on family to be able to do that, to step in those shoes of those two head coaches. Red Autry in year number 1 gives a lot of credit to Seth as well. That one will rattle home.
Yeah, Seth brought him on as Adobo, director of basketball operations at Virginia Tech.
And Red said that was huge for him, just hanging around Seth, learning so much. He said that was a gigantic part of his career, to be around Seth.
Did you say learning around Seth?
That's what he said.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I question that.
He being praised. Filipowski, and the digs continue, and the points continue for Filipowski. Give him 12 all in the second half.
In all seriousness, let me say this about Seth Greenberg. He is one of the most attentive and passionate individuals I think we have in the game of basketball.
No doubt.
And not only as a coach, but just in the game of life. And big shout out to Seth and his brother going through cancer. We've talked about that multiple times in the studio. Seth, we're praying for you and your family, man. We love you, brother.
I think Seth's gotten to that point, you know, in the studio where you can't think of it without him.
You know, he's got that great delivery, the great passion, all that information. Always a lot of fun to listen to, including tonight. Slapped away by Williams. The shot clock at 4. We're going to hear from Seth on the other side. 79-62. Duke looking pretty comfortable here again. 79-62. Duke on top of Syracuse here with just under 4 minutes to go. If Syracuse is going to crawl back in it, what's job one?
Well, you have to get some stops on the defensive end. You got to stop Duke. Kyle Filipowski now is starting to go to work, considering they've been able to open up the floor with their three-point shooting. But it starts with defense for Syracuse and then getting some transition buckets. That's how you get a stop right there. That's great defense.
That's not a shot clock violation, but Duke shooting 76% in the second half.
Say that again?
76%.
Wow.
And 7 for 7 from the three-point line.
You know, Dave, hearing Seth Greenberg talk about Caitlin Clark, you can make the argument. She is the biggest player in college basketball, men's and women's.
Oh, you think so?
I mean, you tell me a player more recognizable than Caitlin Clark. She's going to break every record, and she might come back to school to do it again next year.
Right. Yes, right. Could have another year if she wants it. Just incredible how good she is. And Angel at the buzzer time and time again. I had her victory over Indiana at the buzzer last year in front of a packed house in Iowa. I thought that was ridiculous. She's done it time and time again tonight.
You think Angel agrees with me that Caitlin Clark is the most recognizable player in all of college basketball?
Oh. I do. I think she has been absolutely unbelievable. Just from points, assists, how she makes everyone else better on the floor. Even if you have an assignment to stop her, there's nothing you can do about it. But I think, too, Angel Reese might be up there as well with being recognizable, and even the NIL deals coming into play as well.
Well, you know, when Angel was out for that, 4-game span and then returned, it was like the #2 story on SportsCenter.
I mean, every highlight on sports, all we're seeing are Angel Reese, or we're seeing Caitlin Clark.
Right.
Nonstop. It's incredible for sport.
Now, the women's game has just been so much fun to watch skyrocket, and the interest and the level of play has been amazing.
And the thing is, you know, people, why would Caitlin Clark come back to school? Well, because the money she's going to make is exponentially greater in the college game than it would be in the WNBA.
Sure. She's earned it. 79-66, a little run here for the Orange, but do they have enough in the tank? Just over 2 minutes to go. Filipowski and the Blue Devils on top, 79-66.
See a rave?
Good living right here. Having the time of his life. Great seats too tonight.
I mean, look at the agility, look at the dexterity. I love it. That's what it's all about, the holidays, right? Spending time with your kids, grandkids.
Yeah, and
just enjoying it.
This time of the year at Cameron Indoor, you can upgrade your seats because the students have yet to return to campus. And a bit of an older version of the Cameron Crazies fill all of those seats.
And we were talking to Angel before the game, and she was stating how, you know, and I watched it on TV, the Arizona game, you know, with the students here, this is a different place. It's still loud here with the grad students, don't get me wrong, but when the kids are on campus, I would probably say Allen Fieldhouse and Cameron Indoor Stadium are probably two of the loudest stadiums I've ever been in thus far in college basketball.
Totally agree. Timeout.
Assembly Hall gets loud too.
Arkansas, unbelievable.
I'm pushing to do a game day down there this year.
Are you?
I mean, it's just watching that place and what they've been able to accomplish down there, Eric Musselman and the style in which he coaches, the pace of play.
Yep.
It's really incredible to see.
I think that's a great basketball town and a tremendous arena. Iowa State. I did one game at Iowa State. My hearing has yet to come back, and that was 10 years ago. So, unreal. 79-66 Duke. And Red Autry and the Orange trying to make their way back in this thing. That man, Mark Mitchell, first half put Duke on his shoulders. Carried them to a 2-point lead, and then Duke started hitting threes finally in the second half. Haven't missed. They've been shooting the lights out since the break. Inbounded for Roach. Out of Wanted the double, trying to get free. Nearly gave it away. Mitchell across the line. Here's McCain. So no turnover for the Orange there. Under 2 minutes to play.
Well, Duke now going to go to their delay of game strategy here. Just taking time, wind down the clock, and get a good shot towards the end.
Mitchell gave it up and one to shoot. McCain trying to get it up there. And a whistle. A foul on the jumper. They'll get cuffed for that one. Trying to slow down McCain.
And those are plays where it just, Coach Archer can't do anything but laugh. Seeing the replay, if that was actually a foul or not, but you play well the entire possession defensively, and then you foul with 1 second left on the shot clock. That's every coach's nightmare.
So fouling Duke's best foul shooter. McCain 89%. Look at the reaction.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's every coach's worst nightmare right there. It's, you know, you're getting down to 2-1, and then you make a foul. It's just like, just contest the shot without fouling, please. You know, look, I think Adrian Autry's going to be just fine as a head coach. I love the style in which Syracuse plays. I love this team. You talk about Mintz and the way he can play. Brown has played well. Copeland, I mean, they have talent.
They do.
They're going to be a force in the ACC when things start going well for them offensively. I mean, they already won 5 games in a row, but they're going to be just fine in this conference.
Want to rebound it better, but there's depth. He's playing 9 guys. And they play man-to-man. A lot of changes for Syracuse. Little roller in there, but Proctor got free and knocked it down. Points number 10 and 11 for him. Under a minute, Syracuse unable to make that run in the end. Duke made several in the second half to put this game on ice.
And Duke played a tough game. You know, Syracuse gave them a fight in the first half. Once again, the X factor for Duke at times is knocking down that 3 and knocking it down, you know, in volume. Because when they are a good three-point shooting team, it opens up the floor for Kyle Filipowski to go to work down low. And they're a different ball team.
That's a triple. Boy, Duke was ridiculous from the three-point line in the second half, weren't they?
So it just gives them a different dynamic, Dave.
8 for 8.
Because then you can't afford to double Kyle Filipowski down low on the block. You have to stay home in 1-on-1, and that's where he starts to go to work.
So the Duke faithful delighted tonight here at Cameron Indoor as the Blue Devils beat Syracuse again, and they make it 9 straight and 11 of the last 12 against the Orange.
So it's official, Dave. Now that Jared McCain has shot